Have any of you had a dream project that you've taken to a director or another actor and said, like, you must do this? Honey Boy was your project, you wrote it.
Yeah.
By the way, if you haven't seen it, it's terrific.
It's unbelievable.
Hey,
Thank you.
And the man is
So,
incredible.
who did you want to do it with you?
My back was against the wall. I was nuclear at this point, so it wasn't like a dream project. It felt like survival. Like there was no other way to go. I didn't have a lot of people talking to me. You know, I was in a mental institution, so it wasn't like, oh, this is my dream project. I'd like to explore this. It was like my back's against the wall. This is the craft that I love, and I can't do it anymore. I hadn't talked to my dad for 7 years before I started this up, so I didn't really know my dad too well.
Has it changed your thinking about him or anything?
Yeah, and made me better at my craft and created a relationship, and yeah.
Did you ever think of not playing the part, and did you ever think of directing it?
Never thought of directing it because that's just not my gig, but definitely didn't think I'd be able to play it, you know. I was not in a spot where people were like, hey, let's put some money on this kid's back and have him carry a movie. So I thought my acting career was done. I was going to join the Peace Corps. I wasn't really trying to. Yeah, I was out completely, yeah. And yeah, sent it to Mel Gibson, and yeah, I thought he was the guy to play my dad. And my dad was also thinking along the same lines. It's one thing to want to play your dad. It's another thing to go stand in front of your father after 7 years and not talking and go, hey, man, I'm going to play you when there's contention already, and we weren't on good terms. So I lied to him and told him, hey, Mel Gibson's going to play you. Sign right here. and my dad loves Mel Gibson.
Who doesn't want to be played by Mel Gibson?
Yeah, so my dad signed the paper under the auspices that he was going to be played by Braveheart, you know. So,
You said you're in a mental institution. Is there anything you discovered there that's been helpful for your acting?
yeah, empathy for my father, you know, who was always the biggest villain in my life, you know. And I think if you can empathize with the biggest villain in your life and sort of scrape some of these shadows, and it makes you lighter and freer. I don't think I was leading with love, and my life has changed. You may or may not attest, but I feel like when you lead with lightness and love, you can get to the heavy easier. You know, it's much easier, it's much more accessible. Like anger and the rough shit is very easy. You know, it's the other stuff that feels quite difficult. You know, get an honest laugh is very hard.
Have you ever felt, Shah, that there's a life and death moment in acting where your whole life depends on you pulling this off?
Yes.
Which one?
Every time. It feels like you're next on the chopping block every time.
How do you get past that anxiety?
Prep hard, yeah. It's like boxing. It's just like boxing. Guys train really hard to go put their neck on the line. Never been in the military, but it feels life and death to me. Yeah, so prep hard, determination. Yeah.
Who, Shai, has most intimidated you that you've worked with, and who have you learned from the most? Everyone's intimidated by Oliver, right?
Yeah, different. Not intimidated. Okay. He would never look me in the eyes. He always looked just above my the eyelid.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just his way. Maybe just for me. But probably being around Hardy. Hardy's a bit of a gorilla on the set.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, probably. I was most intimidated by him. Yeah.
What do you mean a bit of a gorilla?
Well, he runs a set. You know, he pee in the corners. It's his set. You know it when you get there. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Don't feel like a shared space. It feels like his space, and you know, and he's a very good actor, and also super loving. But on a set, you're in his church. Oh. You know.
Who has taught you the most?
Bob.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
I really like that. I'm not surprised.
We could all just be quiet.
Yeah.